Alrighty, so for a normal player, you've got your basic hit confirms, you know. You see a hit, you land a hit, you want to put the guard on random. And yeah. But then you have your single hit confirms, like I believe G has stand heavy punch, crouch heavy punch. So there's, you know, in terms of like your faster reaction speed, right? Think of like reactions in terms of your brain processing information, you know, like you're looking at something. In terms of the faster reaction speeds, I'm sure most of you know this, but most players look at the stun gauge for hit confirming. So yeah, you have your eyes glued on the stun gauge. The important thing, however, is you can look for any visual clue. You can look for the hit spark or the block spark, depending on what you're trying to look to hit confirm. You can look to whether they're standing or crouching if you go for like a low. You can look at the health bar. You know, there's various things that will change when you land the hit, but in general, find something to look at. Most players use the stun gauge, but the stun gauge won't tell you everything. For example, there are instances where the stun gauge will go up because you hit the opponent, but you hit them out of, like, the air. You hit them out of a jump or a backdash, and your hit confirm won't go through because they'll just get flipped out and your move will whiff. So, but in most cases, yeah, generally looking at the stun gauge. But then that's where you need to get, you know, the sharper reaction speed. So how do you actually improve your reaction speed? Well, you can practice. But mainly it's a psychology thing. It's how you're there's two periods to this. It's, you know, the time between, you know, the action happening. Okay, I guess there's three periods. So the time between the action happening and a clear, distinct visual occurring. So for the stun gauge, it's instantaneous. Then you have the period between the information appears and then your brain like recognizes the information. So you have that waiting period, and then you have the period of time between your brain identifies, okay, I got the hit, and your fingers performing the action. Okay, and this is where training your reaction speed as for hit confirming really differs, because the key is that latter period, the once you recognize what's happened, your fingers instantly do the action. There's no like, oh, you know, you don't take the time to mull it over to come to a decision. Oh, I see. I guess I should input this move or input this button. Obviously, you want to be, you know, buffering in the motion before you do when you're doing the move, so that the only thing you have to do when you react to it is hit the buttons involved for doing the special or super that you're canceling into. So yeah, you want to cut out as much work as possible for that last phase between, okay, you've recognized that you got the hit, now your fingers perform the action. And so this is where the trick comes in, because you don't actually want to be focusing primarily on the stun gauge, or you don't want to be focusing on just waiting for the instant that it occurs. You actually want to be focusing on your hands themselves. So this stand heavy punch and crouch heavy punch with G are not too terribly difficult to hit confirm. They're some of the easier single hit confirms in the game. However, let's go to another character. Seth. Alright, so Seth has a variety of moves that are just barely hit confirmable. You like humans have to be really peaked out. So the moves that are hit confirmable, you have standing medium punch, forward medium punch, and crouching medium kick. And obviously there's other hit confirms you can do. Like you can if you have like the vacuum, you can also single hit confirm that. And you can single hit confirm that. Those ones are pretty fucking easy to do. Crouching heavy kick, very easy to hit confirm. But standing medium punch, very, very fast reaction. In order to do this, this is where you need to be really like focusing on your hands and thinking about like your finger hitting the button that you need to do. In this case, it's just heavy punch. So there, much faster reaction, but I'm able to do it because I'm only focusing. I'm not actually putting that much of my thought process into looking at the screen or anything like that. My eyes are looking in the direction of the stun gauge, but I'm not really thinking about it. All I'm thinking about is my finger hitting the heavy punch button. That's all my brain is thinking about, like that little motion, sinking down to hit it, so that the instant that my brain, my eyes are still looking in the correct direction of the stun gauge, so as soon as like the vague visual information indicates, my fingers go through the motion and do it. And that, practicing that and getting used to that is the key to getting the fastest reactions, and it's just better for reactions in general, because you want to train your reaction speed to be better in the heat of the moment and to be better when you're not focusing all of your energy on looking at the thing you want to be reacting to, It's also the case that you don't want to be focusing on the thing that you're trying to react to, like the stun gauge or some visual information, because if you're doing all your focus on that, it actually makes it more likely that you're going to get itchy, like have an itchy trigger finger, and think that you've seen something that's not, because the visual information is distinct, when it happens, it's going to happen, but if you're focusing on that part entirely as, like, how to improve your reaction speed, you're gonna fuck up more often, because you're gonna react to things when there's actually nothing to react to. You're gonna get antsy and make mistakes. Like, I'm not a particularly good player, but I've been able to train my reaction speed to this point where I can hit confirm one of the hardest hit confirms in the entire game, in some of these Seth moves. Which are substantially faster than, say, Karen's low forward. It's better to have it, like, this vague awareness, You'll be better at reacting things if you can react to them just with a vague sense of information. Like, you don't have to be looking at the air to, like, in the peripheries of your vision, see that they've jumped at you, so long as you're thinking about, the motion that your hands need to do, and just immediately taking that action. And that is the key to hit confirming. It's those two periods, the period between the information occurs and your brain recognizes it, and then the period between your brain recognizing it and your hands doing the appropriate action. And that latter portion is what you can really, really actually focus on and improve at. Alright? Actually, like, pure reaction speed in terms of, like, your brain's ability to recognize what you've seen is not that important compared to just you being more skilled, like, you practicing and getting more used to cutting out the middleman between the information occurring and your hands just instantly go through with the action. That is the key to hit confirming.